All right, and we are live.
RegionFree makes my nipples hard. So let's go.
We will return to London after midnight on WTSF.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about it a lot. I just wanted to hear your voice. You know what today is, right? I can't stop thinking about it. About what happened. And to his face. It was just a prank. It didn't mean for that to happen. It's been 5 years.
Welcome back to RegionFree. I just got a notification that I couldn't unmute someone who had muted themselves. It happened to be right next to me, so it threw me for a loop. Welcome back to RegionFree on a Friday the 13th in October, which is already a holy month. We are joined today by the usual cast plus one. Please give a warm RegionFree welcome to Miss Diana, who you've seen on intros for. We just lost someone. That was like a golf clap at best. Are you feeling the love, Diana?
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you.
Jonathan will be right back. He just messaged me that that is true, so that's good. How is everyone, and how is the beginning of the season been treating you?
The beginning of the season started at the end of July. I'm trying to make it to the home stretch.
It doesn't feel like the season until the weather breaks, though. Like, I have problems with getting Halloween-y when it's like 98 degrees out, so it's only the last week and a half or so that it's felt at all like the season for me.
It's Atlanta here, Lauren. It's like we just turned the AC off, so it never feels like it in October, unfortunately.
Listen, your choice of where you live is not my problem, sir.
I'm doing well. I've watched some really great movies, and I've watched some really shitty movies. So, yeah, I'm sure some of them will come up tonight.
Hey, I've seen a shitty movie. Steak, how are you doing, my man?
You know what? Not great, but
Awesome.
that's, it's the time of year. Let's get into it.
We decided to make tonight a really downer episode, so this is going to be a very special episode of Region Free.
Therapy edition.
So, Sam, if Dan just turned off the air conditioning in Atlanta, how's Texas treating?
We had like 2 days of weather that felt like fall, and now it's back to being like in the 80s. But at least we have a little bit of rain this time, so now it's also extra muggy.
Do you still have the Texas mosquitoes hanging out?
We haven't had a lot of mosquitoes this year at all, which is very strange. So the ecosystem is dying.
I think it's just 5G, the 5G in the air.
The 5G mosquitoes.
Diana, how would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
I don't know. Hello. How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, so far the season has started. I'm just trying to push summer away and welcoming fall, and it just hasn't been working. I've been wearing sweaters at work, and I've had to like change into like t-shirts, and it's driving me nuts because I want it to be cold and dreary, and it just hasn't been happening. Today was sunny. I was annoyed, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend because supposedly the weather is supposed to cool down. So I'm excited.
That's fair.
And I'm in Pennsylvania.
Amish country.
No, not that part of the state at all.
Nope.
Right across the old Delwater Gap.
Not that part of the state either.
Oh,
but
no,
you can't really.
That's just what I know.
Keep guessing.
I like
we're
the Dutch.
We're not going to play that game.
The Dutch.
Hey.
That's what I think of when I think Pennsylvania.
The Dutch?
The Dutch.
I don't know. They have these magic signs on their barns. It's confusing.
Yeah.
This is going to get clipped.
Absolutely.
These guys are anti-Amish. Do you guys watch that? They were.
I sort of am anti-Amish though.
Yeah, if you don't use electricity, fuck you.
They like horses a lot.
Go fuck your mother. You don't like electricity.
I'm pretty aware.
I do want to just point out that for a second, Lorne said anti-Irish. He is anti-Amish. Sorry.
Anti-Amish is a character name waiting to happen.
Anti-Amish.
Or a band. Or a band.
Strangely enough, she's Mennonite. That's the weird part.
No, I'm not. Far from it. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm an outcast in this area.
I was talking about anti-Amish.
Wait. I gotta say this though, because I was lucky enough to attend an important event in Diana's life, and I was the outcast of that. Guys,
I don't know. Yeah, kind of.
Kind of, right? Well, at least on that side of the aisle.
Yeah.
But that was a great day. Guys, let's start out like we always start out. Jonathan, you want to start us off?
DJKS27 says, I definitely want to check out Blood on Satan's Claws. On Satan's Claw. Sorry, singular.
It's just
the one claw.
Just the one devil.
You do?
Are the rest of his fingernails just like all nubs?
You know how like some people have that one Coke fingernail?
I was about to say that. Yeah, it must be the coat nail.
Robert.
We talked a little bit about Blood on Satan's Claw yesterday, or at least last episode. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah. Because a whole month has not passed. I really do recommend it. Yes, it's not the best folk horror film of all time, but it probably is my favorite.
It's up there.
Yeah, it really is. It's fun. The cast is great. I love the dumb Muppet ending. I love it all. It's great. All right, Dan, ready?
Absolutely. All right, Ben Grimm. In Halloween 3, the best of the franchise, why does the pumpkin head wear the witch hat and the witch wear a
hood? I cut it off because I'm incompetent.
That's okay. A hood.
That's easy enough.
Well,
Pumpkins
it was
don't have
the.
fucking hats because they're pumpkins. So we gave them a hat.
There you go. I was just gonna
That's
say
the
cocaine. Cocaine. It was the 80s.
Well, I was going to just kind of point to the conflict that is currently happening, in the Middle East.
What? Something's happening over there?
I haven't heard a word about it.
Nothing at all. Everything's
Nothing.
fine.
I thought it was peaceful as usual.
Let's move on.
I was going to buy a timeshare. Damn it.
Oh,
They told me that shit was over.
really,
they'd settled
that was vague enough, though, that is an evergreen comment, no matter when
Oh,
someone
yeah.
watches.
Yeah.
We could drop
Don't
that
look at
into
the
every
in the
date
past,
on your
episode
people.
without
If you
any
go
editing.
1,000 years in the past, yeah, still. Good.
Exactly.
You're correct.
I don't think that they didn't need the Iron Dome when there was just rocks being thrown, though.
Get some guy in his fucking
Hello,
pajamas out
future
there. Fucking,
people.
It's
How
still
are
messed
you?
up.
In the future, Dan is the most normal-looking one.
Even though his hat's on fire.
well,
They just
everybody
think-
has cool light up hats in the future, Sam. I
Yeah.
mean,
You're all a bunch of freaks. I'm the normal one in the future.
I thought you were
Year
wearing like
2000.
a costume. I didn't realize you were just illuminating your dome.
That's
Like, I was really excited to see
I've
what was
got-
coming up.
I've
There's
got,
nothing
like,
in the beard, which bothers me.
That's
I
for
was gonna
Christmas.
try, but this is like 50-50 that it's going to catch fire. So I was like, I don't
Oh
know.
no, dude! This isn't the
Well,
50s anymore.
wait. There's a comment to address that a little bit in coming up. So let's go to the next. I need Steak to read the next comment.
Oh. Lexi Schein says, or asks rather, what was your coolest Halloween costume of all time?
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm not going to reveal that, but what I'm going to tell you is that I have a friend.
What's
who
your
got to-
fucking problem, man? Spill it.
No, because it's a far better story. I have a friend, my friend Jeffrey from high school, who was insane, who went to the New York City Halloween parade with himself and a friend dressed as JFK and Jackie O on the day.
Nice.
Christ.
They nearly got trampled.
That was back before, like that was back when you couldn't say anything bad about America. You couldn't say a damn word, dude. Like they'd fucking they'd jump you. Toby Keith would pop out of nowhere, and like he just poof.
Billy Ray
I was-
Cyrus would hold you back, and then Toby Keith would have his way with you.
That's, yeah, that's what Toby Keith was there for. He's employed by the government for a long time.
Well, I was listening to a podcast just yesterday, actually. Some guy was talking. He lives in a border town. Like growing up, so like for pretty much the rest of America, the theme for 9/11 was like one of those Toby Keith type songs. Down there, it was that Enrique Iglesias song, "Hero." It has nothing. It came out before it. Had nothing to do with it. But they're like, no, that's what we're running with.
I love it.
I did dress as Satan to a Christian haunt once, and I thought it would draw anger.
He's in the goddamn book, isn't he?
Yeah, that was the thing. It was just like
I got him from
nobody
your
was
book.
upset. Nobody.
You guys
was
get mad when I find a character I identify with.
I was a zombie macho man once, though.
That's
Zombie macho man was cool.
The
I did-
way Dan is revealing these, it's like he's just like, no, well, it was really just the one time that I did it. Well, also I dressed up as the devil and went to a Catholic school.
Unannounced.
That's it.
Like he wasn't invited.
I like to
They weren't
dress up
doing
like the
anything.
people I see on the wall in the post office and go to the post office.
Is that guy dressed up as Greg?
Greg might get kind of nervous if you
Yeah.
did that.
That'd be fucking hilarious. I did that at a job one time. I just dressed up as somebody else I worked with.
Just
I've been threatening to do that currently, so. Sam,
Just-
I got to hear.
I have a lot of costumes that I've really enjoyed. Probably okay. So a couple years, me and my friend Scott, we went as 1 year we went as Degeneration X, and he was Triple H, and I was Shawn Michaels, and I got to super kick a cardboard cutout of John Cena at some point during the night. That was
Again,
very fun.
Lauren's the weird one here, so don't make a face.
Can someone point me to a Wikipedia page that explains this?
If you don't know DX, buddy,
Wrestling.
it ain't made for you. It is wasn't meant for you.
like at some point, Lorne, you're going to like find a clip. You're going to come across a clip on Twitter that's going to capture your amazement, and you won't be able to look away.
He's gonna see
I
that
promise, it'll
fucking
happen.
Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania fucking 20 or 21.
25. That was
The
one of the
fucking
best
I
matches.
love you super kick. Oh, that don't make you
I thought it was
cry.
Ric
You're made of
Flair and Shawn
stone.
Michaels. That
Listen,
was
it
like
sounds
what,
like
Did I
too
not
much
say Flair?
It sounds like too much work to catch up
21.
to their current story, so I'm just gonna hold it off.
Lauren, just for the show, since this is a special show,
No.
can you just give us a B elite? B.
No,
elite.
absolutely
No.
not. We won't be
Give me
doing
a
that.
yeah.
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 This is the portion where he gets confused.
So
I
Sam,
wasn't even done. You jerk.
No.
okay, go ahead. Well then, have them not be jerks to me.
Yeah.
Have Lightning Head over here.
Yeah.
Over there.
Lightning head.
Yeah.
That is a bonfire. And well, actually, lightning probably struck his hat, and that's why there's a bonfire. Oh no, but anyway, so I had to try and dye Scott's hair blonde, but he looked like Dave Windorf from Monster Magnet, like almost to a T.
There's a reference I get.
There you go. So to give you an idea of how dark his hair was, his hair turned out like fucking orange.
Yeah.
This weird orange, almost blonde in places. It was a nightmare, but he actually looked really good in it. And we also did we dressed up as Roddy Pipers the year that he passed. Not zombie Roddy Pipers, just Roddy Pipers, just to kind of honor him.
Did you
That
give
was
him
very
the
fun.
nose?
The what?
Do you have the schnoz to go with
He already
it?
had a big nose.
Oh.
So
Oh
he brought his
my.
own.
I mean, that thing
No
that Triple H
no
is
prosthetics required.
I wonder how much cocaine Triple H can do in comparison to
Okay,
the
I think we're
regular size
definitely going to
people.
the next topic now.
I feel like it's a large
Sam,
amount.
could you read that?
Oh, my
Okay.
family.
Oh, yeah, I know. This is the Dan Schein family show. Okay. Nicholas Schein, 6735 says, tell them about Were Panda.
Oh, so Nick I was like, write me a short horror story and draw a picture. And Were Panda was his creation. Didn't have much of a story, just a panda that got bit by a werewolf, but he's working on it. And he drew a were panda. I have that photos somewhere, and I would have shown it, but
So, what if the panda had rabies? What would happen? Would it also affect the werewolf? Would it be like a both ways problem then?
that could be the ending. That could be the ending.
That's why they pay me the money.
Yeah, there you go.
By the way, please pay me the money. Please.
Lauren will collab with you on Were Panda.
Were
Nick.
Panda.
You
Well,
do.
maybe.
He will tie it into the Paraheli.
My long-suffering publisher will be like, "What are we doing?"
Lauren, we need a Were Panda in this.
No,
I
no,
know
you know what?
ladies,
You know what?
but-
No. Hey, Emily, if you're watching, I could already see her going, we can market that. I
Yeah.
see pendants. I see stuffed animals with suction cups.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be super cute.
Diana, you ready to read a comment?
I can't see it very well. Let me see if I can read it. My eyes are horrible.
That's okay.
Hold up. You guys got to get really up close and personal.
Okay.
Aw.
Yeah, I can't see. Sorry.
All right. I guess I'll take it. Big Slick Anything Everything
Sorry.
2134 4 weeks ago said, and I literally pulled this today, so it's like literally 4 weeks ago. I took a date to Hostel 2, and the rest of my date went pretty well.
In response to my bad date with Hostel, I assume. There you go.
There's nothing that gets a girl hotter than watching an eye get pulled out of a human body.
I didn't know. She said she wanted something extreme. I knew it was extreme, and she got upset.
meant after the movie.
Maybe.
And she also just meant like, House of Wax.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Her exact words, I want to see something really extreme and fucked up.
Not in an American.
and
setting.
for her,
That was
she means House of Wax.
It happens. That's why I'm still single. What can I say?
It's like, Cannibal Holocaust. You can put your mind.
We'll double it up with
No.
Salo.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Don't worry, children will be eating shit within an hour of this thing starting.
Spoilers for Salo. I'm sorry if you haven't seen it.
It goes with like the Valentine's chocolates, though. You know what I mean? Like it kind of makes sense. You get them the Criterion Salo and some chocolates. It's funny.
It's like, here's the game plan for tonight.
Yeah.
I'm still salty about the fact that I bought Salo when it came out on DVD Criterion originally on the day of release, and then they pulled the disc the next day. Jonathan, can you mute unless you're talking? Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Do I have background noise going on? Is that what it is?
You have some like wind tunnel going.
That's not good.
No.
But
skydiving.
Is there a hole in your house?
Like, I went to a point where I needed money, so I sold it on eBay. But then the guy reversed the charge, and it was basically the rarest DVD of its time, and I got completely like ripped off.
Still, that sucks.
eBay was the Wild West.
Oh wow,
You're
that
good.
I try again, Jonathan.
All right, I'm unmuted now.
Woo,
yes,
that's about better. I like that.
You got to have the background noise thing ticked on the settings. Good to know.
It doesn't sound like the inside of my head now.
That's odd.
There you go.
So because you're clear now, I want you to read the last comment we're doing for the evening from the mailbag and
Manifesting Fear. Hello, Cheska.
Aw,
I'm more
Jess.
upset that Dan got a new hat. What the hell, Dan?
What happened to the old hat?
It's just beat up, but I still have it.
people are very nostalgic for the hat.
Now that you're a public figure, you can't just do that.
And this hat might catch fire, so you might have no choice.
I've got maybe 10 more minutes. I'm starting to feel the burn through the hat, which is not
Feel the burn.
Well, you have to announce an amicable uncoupling if you're getting a new hat. That's the proper thing to do.
There you go. I'll announce it
You know,
ahead
make
of
the
time.
statement and everything like that, and have TMZ put out an article. You know, usual.
That one was out on the boat a lot, so it's kind of beat up. So that's all.
Out on the boat.
Were you trying to pull in? Were you going to pull a Natalie Wood on that old hat?
We did not kill Natalie.
I think Wagner did it.
I think they both did it. Let's be real. Those guys were coked out of their mind, and they like, she needs to go for a swim.
I not have a hard time believing that Christopher Walken could have been present for something and not understood what happened. Like he could have been there, but just did not compute what was happening.
Here, we have a special guest to answer this question definitively.
Oh wow!
Oh shit!
Long-awaited RegionFree return of Piz. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Happy Friday the 13th, y'all.
Happy Friday the 13th. So who did it, Piz? You make the
Natalie
call.
Wood?
Who did what? Now I didn't catch the question.
Who killed Natalie Wood?
I think it was just an accident. It was just an accident.
How much is Walken paying you?
1.2 million.
A year. I'd say it was an accident too. Clumsy bitch. Y'all didn't even know her.
You know, she had a real fear of water. She got too close to the edge. She had a few drinks and she just slipped and fell off. It happens all the time.
And then they just didn't try to get her.
They'd been drinking.
Well, listen, it was like honorary Kennedy thing, you know.
You're like, God, it's a lot quieter on the boat now. What happened?
I refuse to believe Christopher Walken had anything to do with it.
Nah,
he's just too good an actor.
Like an angel.
He is too good an actor, and that voice.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Piz, on this Friday 13th?
Not a whole lot. This.
Well, we are ecstatic to have you back. And you're, of course, always welcome back to the round table whenever you can. I wish we could actually have a round table, like if it looked like Simon. You remember Simon?
Oh, yes.
That's what this should look like, but we should be in the places. That also makes me think that, though, that, like, it would, like, we could push a button and it would light up and it would land on one of us, and then make a sound of an animal, like that other toy that looked the same.
You can move. Have you seen the weird layouts you can do with StreamYard now, where you can just drag people around?
I ain't doing that. Well, I drag people around.
No, I mean, like, you can make a circle. You can just put them anywhere.
You have to have enough people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting fancy.
Yeah, it might get
still. Fancy. You think they'd be better by now, though? Like, we've been using them for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
minor improvements. Step your game up.
Would you take months off? It does, like, you can see like significant difference in stuff.
But $25 a month,
really, for where they should be, though. Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I do want to say hi to Diana. I've never met Diana.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Hope you're doing well too.
I'm familiar with the face from all the intros and stuff, but we've never been formally introduced.
So this is a recreation of how that happens. Diana, yeah, I need to shoot you on a boat being chased by a mummy. And she's like, yeah, okay, how's Tuesday?
And that mummy's revealed as Robert Wagner.
It could be. Robert Wagner.
It's period appropriate.
By the way, that was actually an accurate summation of the first time we shot something.
I brought my best friend with me.
Because I was definitely taking her into a basement.
Yeah, totally creepy. So I needed a witness just in case.
You walk down first. I'll come down behind you.
And now it's like in the woods, fine.
Oh yeah.
You can be chained to a lot of things in a basement.
It's a scary basement. All right, let's get into some topics. Dan, how would you survive Halloween 3?
I think I could take out a bunch of trick-or-treaters, personally. I just stick close to Tom Atkins. You know, just
it's all the worst decisions in that movie.
But you're safe with Atkins if it comes down to
World's
it.
ending and he's stopping off to get him a piece. You know, like what? Who makes that kind of decision?
The safest person in that movie was his wife, because he got the hell away from her as quick as possible. So,
what, me? No, I'm not married. No.
Stick with Atkins. That's it.
You're
That's
the
it.
Atkins diet, baby.
The Atkins, yes, on the Atkins diet. Nothing but sex. That's
if
it.
Tom
You don't
Atkins didn't use that in a bar.
Sex, Marlboros, and Miller Lite. That's the Atkins.
That's the Atkins diet.
That's what's kept him alive all these years. He's still looking good.
No carbs in sex. Not a lot of people know that.
That depends wildly. I mean,
I just want him in one of those like 80s aerobics commercials, just slapping.
Oh, that exists. That exists.
Slapping the smoothie out of your hand, just giving you the Marlboros, and
I'm Tom Atkins. Drink a quart of milk a day, just like me. You can be strong for the movies.
Yeah,
remember, 7 out of 8 doctors say that Marlboros are healthy.
Buttermilk.
Yes,
that's
Adrian
my father.
Left me, but I had Adrian. Okay, so this bit was supposed to go a lot different.
Sorry.
So let's start over. Hey, Sam, how would you survive Halloween 3?
Burn it down, duh. I mean, don't put on the mask.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
put
pretty
on the
easy.
damn mask. It's the easiest horror film to survive.
yeah, that's true.
And plus, like, they never like hit on the fact, like, once this first wave of everybody's kids fucking melts in their living room, like, what's next? Because whoever you didn't get, like, whoever won as Spider-Man that year, next year.
Well, no, you're gonna get about 25% coming back. We got a new kid. Put a mask on it. Let's go.
I like how Dan was. I like how Dan took this question very seriously, even though he was in the meeting where we discussed what the bit is.
Exactly.
I must have forgot the bit.
I didn't know the bit.
It's all good.
It's actually better this way because it's, again, like my incompetence is the theme of this show. So came up with a bit. We couldn't live it out.
Ingrid Cold.
That's right. All right, let's get out to our first real topic. Halloween memories, guys. Like, what are those core memories from each of you that you'd like to share about this season? That's, I think, special to most of us. Diana will have a different take, but we'll get there.
It's the Amish thing.
Who wants to start? Just scream it out, guys. I don't like making choices.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Actually, I had a question for everybody, but so when I was growing up, obviously everybody has the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, but in my house we also had the Great Pumpkin, which it would be like kind of like a small, like almost stocking stuffer type gifts, like just little things, right? That were kind of like little plastic rings and stuff like that. And my mom would take me trick or treating after the fact, on Halloween itself. But did any of you guys grow up with the Great Pumpkin as a tradition, where you got like maybe a little gift or anything like that?
No, but that's cool.
No, but now I'm resentful over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go yell at my mom when I see her.
How come Texas has to do things better?
It's just I think it's just my weird family.
Bigger, yeah. They don't do everything right, but they're good.
Well, okay, so we actually have like a kind of weird pumpkin festival thing going on. I believe it's the first year, and I shit you not, one of the attractions, the toddler bull riding.
Yeah, they do it here. They put them on lambs.
Toddlers.
They put them on sheep.
Yeah, we're not
They do it here.
barbarians.
Yeah.
Us Northerners. This is the
Now
only
they
time
do play
Justin and I can
fucking
say that.
rodeo bingo, and people just get fucking obliterated by fucking bulls. Like, that is awesome. There's people from the crowd. Like, one dude went to the hospital, almost died. It was awesome.
It was rad.
It was because you're that fucking
That dude
stupid.
got gored.
Stand right here and don't move. Yeah, fucking okay.
I think I saw the video of that.
That
there a
was
video?
here in my hometown.
I saw that video. Yeah. Wow. And he didn't even try to get out of the way. I guess he just
stood his ground.
Yeah, I guess he just thought, well, the guy told me to stand here, so I mean, I guess he knows what he's doing with this giant bull rushing at me. I'll just stand perfectly still, and it didn't work out.
Maybe he shouldn't have been wearing a bright red leisure suit, though.
I think
that would have made it much better.
His mistake was getting out of bed that morning.
That's the kind of guy that it's a struggle to get through the day. If you're standing there watching the bull come at you.
Wait a second. This isn't exactly Final Destination, though. This guy stood in front of a bull. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a number of ways he could have avoided this situation.
Well, the best part about it was the social media fallout afterwards was everybody's sentiment was like, well, why did you stand in front of a bull, you fucking idiot? There was no like outrage about how can we let this happen. It was all that guy's an idiot. Don't do that.
Tuck your chin, Billy. It'll be okay.
Hey man, you got your $65. Get over it.
We're not a pump, prick.
You got medical bills, $13,000, but he got paid $65 to say that. It's worth it,
That's awesome. I never rode a bull when I was a toddler, so that's awesome.
You can call yourself a man then, Dan.
But what did you do as a kid for Halloween that sticks with you?
I have got a lot of memories, but one that really sticks in my mind. I was in Washington, D.C., and the guy was some sort of ambassador for something at that point, but he always went all out for Halloween, and he did kind of like an evil scientist thing where you would actually go through his house, which might sound crazy, but a lot of us did that back then.
What did you take?
It was
his first hat.
His entire house was turned into a haunt. And he was kind of an evil scientist, and his wife was the brain that wouldn't die, which was a film I really liked because I was a little kid. I don't remember how old I was, but she had the whole thing. So it's like a little kid that's still etched in my mind. I can see her, not knowing how any kind of those gimmicks worked or anything. And there she was, just the brain that wouldn't die. And it still really sticks out in my mind. I think I've always been chasing that kind of awesomeness ever since. We used to do the same thing. We would do haunts and like all of the twisted fucked up stuff I wanted to do was always like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to have somebody blown up in a microwave. We're not going to, I was like, come on. I always tried to do stuff that got asked. But that was a scary one.
Fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, fuck mom and dad if you watch this. Because that would have been awesome if you let me do the microwave gag. I was going to blow up like some watermelon in it or something and make it look like somebody, simple gag. It would have been fine. But no, it's going to cause a fire.
Dan, did you forget about the event with the fork in the microwave? That's why they wouldn't let you touch the microwave.
Let's say Dan was walking to the microwave with a watermelon fully, like completely covered in aluminum foil. Like a baked potato. Like
the aluminum foil makes it.
The Schein house. The Schein house looked like the opening of One Dark Night. There's like cutlery in the walls and shit.
There you go. Yeah, I know. I've never been able to go like full.
You guys had a big microwave, by the way. Like if you ever saw a watermelon, or like I can get this whole thing in there. That's impressive.
You can get it. It's a big microwave. I think I could have gotten one in there. But yeah, no. I mean, it's etched in my mind ever since. Haunts are still to this day like the coolest thing about Halloween to me. Haunts and hay rides at your local pumpkin patch. You never get too old for it. So yeah, but the brain that wouldn't die. I still remember turning and then on that table, it's like severed head talking to me. Nothing beats that.
Jonathan, do you have Halloween?
It's nothing like crazy cool, but October. So Halloween of '98 was Monster Vision did the Friday the 13th Up All Night marathon, and that was the first time I ever saw a Friday the 13th movie. Let alone, I think I watched like 5 that night, like 2 through 6. I think is what they showed or something. Without 4 wasn't there for some reason. But that, and then TBS was showing New Nightmare, like so you would flip back and forth. That was the first time I saw either a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was with Joe Bob. Like I said, it's not like the most interesting thing ever, but it's like what I think of as Halloween when I think back. I was dressed as an Eminem that year.
Dude, what color Eminem? Do you remember?
I was blue.
Okay.
It was a family costume.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys have any costumes? Oh, sorry, Diana, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, I thought you
Not
were.
yet, at least.
Sorry, I thought I cut you off.
No, not at all.
Well, I want to know if you guys have any costumes that you like regret or that were uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah, of course.
Because like back in 2008, one of my friends talked me into going as a cat girl geisha, and she was a cat girl geisha.
No.
What is that? What does that entail? Like, what do you buy for that? Is it just a slutty geisha? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's the slutty geisha costume.
Okay, there you go.
She bought them at like, I don't know, the Adult Video Megaplex or something like that. And I had cat ears anyway because I was an anime weeb. So we went as cat girl geisha. And I'm just like, yeah, that's not a decision I would make now.
I went as a Power Ranger for like a very long period of time in the 90s. Like I wish I would have, switched it up a little bit, but
I was the white Power Ranger one time, and then the next year destroyed the costume.
And when you were a kid and you ran into somebody on the street who had the white power, you're like you felt like you had to fucking throw down. You're like, no, there's no one.
I'm the real one.
There's only one. I'm Tommy.
That's a pretty, it's a pretty unfortunate name, White Power Ranger.
No, it's terrible. Well, at least there's a Black Power Ranger too, so like that makes it a little bit better.
That leveled the playing field.
Well, actually, I did like make a note. White Power Ranger. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Oh,
you've not seen the t-shirts? That's been a t-shirt forever. Like he's just giving.
Did you walk around the neighborhood giving people the okay sign or what?
I probably did because up until like 2 weeks ago, I didn't know we weren't allowed to do that anymore. I was just like an idiot.
I saw Eddie Murphy do that fucking 25 years ago.
What about this thing? I mean, like we did.
That's bad. That's the most racist thing you can do.
Yeah, right.
That's the new clan hood. That
Just saying.
Yeah, that's it right there.
You're making goggles with your hands.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Last year's costume, my costume last year was Wednesday Addams, and although that's my favorite, it was the most uncomfortable because it was freezing, and I couldn't get warm because I didn't want to cover up my costume. But last year was tough. It was really tough.
It was always a big source of frustration. It's like, I got this costume.
Yeah.
I gotta wear a fucking coat over it because it's Buffalo in October.
I was gonna say, do you guys remember a Halloween where it was snowing? Because we had some.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was
the
best on earth. Yeah, well, not you, Sam. You live in Mexico, so pretty much.
Huh? I mean, I'm not that close to the border.
No, I'm just saying, like, that used to be Mexico.
Listen, there's
we used to just consider
a Taco Bell in every town. We're all border towns.
We kind of.
I have a bad one.
Town was legit. I miss it.
I have a bad one that's actually kind of funny in retrospect. She's fine, but
whoa,
it was
where's
a friend, a friend of mine who
let her go.
Who ran an adult
Was
club.
her name Natalie Wood?
No. Well, they knew that I had worked on some movies. They're like, we're doing a thing with the dancers. Like, do you mind helping? And I forgot, like, one was allergic to latex. Usually you're supposed to say something. So we had to have an ambulance come for a dancer that had pumpkins essentially everywhere. You can kind of imagine that. And getting taken out of the club. It was quite bad. That was probably one of the worst.
Dan was only 11 when this happened.
Yeah, 11 going on 12.
He was a very mature 11, though.
He was very versed in the adult entertainment.
Always test that first, because that was, I felt really bad.
Wow.
Piz, do you have any Halloween stories to share?
Okay, so whoever mentioned the coat, either around or under the costume, that was always the worst Halloween, because it used to be cold in October in Kentucky many years ago. So, being a husky child, a
child of girth.
Yes, being a child of girth, my mother decided, instead of paying for costumes, she was just going to make me a costume, right? So she homemade me a cape, and every year I was Dracula for several years. But there were at least a couple of years where it was cold, so I'd have to wear a coat under my cape. So that added additional girth onto an already girthy little Dracula. And she would paint on the widow's peak and my lips red and stuff. So it was
what was Jeremy during this time?
Oh, Jeremy,
because no offense, Piz, Jeremy fucking kills Halloween every year.
It's true.
He does.
You just kind of fucking go mild, dude.
He does. I mean, he does. He really does. So Jeremy, mostly for Halloween, I don't remember what like some of his early stuff was when he went trick or treating as a kid. I really don't remember. But once we started handing out candy, I mean, that was when he would go, he would tell me, I want to be Pinhead, or I want to be Ghostface, or I want to be whatever.
Prince is still the best one.
Prince, yeah, that was just one out of left field. He wanted to be Prince. So
we all do at some point.
He's the king of Halloween around here now. That's for sure. That's
you're
for
just
sure.
There, buddy.
I'm just there.
You're his producer. Just get used to it.
Exactly. Doesn't matter what I am. Somebody asked, because Jeremy's going to be Goku this year, and they were like, "What are you going to be?" And I was like, "It doesn't matter."
You could be a King Cold. I mean, that would be cool.
Piccolo, maybe.
Piccolo. Yeah.
Or really tall
Dragon Ball.
Or really big Krillin.
Oh shit, Krillin would be rad too.
So
you gotta do the incense burns though.
But yeah, so homemade Dracula was my costume for many, many years as a kid. but nothing wild, as I recall. There was one night I remember I ordered a bunch of pizzas to a buddy of mine's house, and I hid nearby to watch all the pizzas get delivered there, and like his mother going, "I didn't order any effing pizzas," and literally the delivery guys came one right after the other, and she got she got madder and madder with each one. To the third one, like before he even got out of the car, she was on the porch like, "I didn't order an effing pizza."
And that was back when you could just call and order something. They'd make it, take it to you with no money.
Exactly. There was way too much trust going on.
There was, man. You just get there and expect money.
So we used it up.
Mm-hmm. And so I remember, I started laughing, and she looked across, and I think she saw me, and I took off running across this field and running through these people's backyards to get home, and clothesline went through my mind a second before a clothesline hit me about right here, and I just completely,
in the most literal sense, you were clothesline.
I was clothesline. So it totally wiped me out, but it happened so fast, like it didn't even hurt. I just got up and ran home, but I had like a big stripe across my face for at least a couple of days. So that was karma.
Yeah, 30-ish years ago in Kentucky, there was a lot of clotheslines.
Yes.
Steak, did you share while I was away, or?
I don't really have a lot to share, to be totally honest. This has just never really been that great a month for me.
It sucks.
There's just always some just shitty thing, just unrelated to Halloween, but it takes the wind out of my sails. Just and like even on years where nothing crazy happens, it's just like, well, what is it going to be? So I'm just fucking, I don't care. Shut up. And just kind of white knuckle the month. But I did go dressed as a 20s gangster when I worked at a call center. We
nice.
Had our little group in the cubicle. We all kind of worked off that theme. That was kind of fun. Because I've always, Boardwalk Empire is one of my favorite shows just ever. So I do enjoy that era. Then the next year they all decided, we're gonna do Wizard of Oz, and at first I wanted to be like a really just horrifying scarecrow, because scarecrows do scare me quite a bit, but I decided in the end to not do that and dress up as Uncle Paul, which is a Jim Norton character from the Opie and Anthony show. For those of you that know, that is not terribly work appropriate, but I did it anyway, complete with just shaving a nice horseshoe male pattern bald. This is far before I needed to do, or this is when I would need to do something.
One of those irony things, I believe.
Yeah, cute. But then I did go ahead and just have a lady from work shave my head the rest of the way, and I found out that I prefer this. So
there you go.
It was all worth it.
How's that? Yeah.
Changed your life forever.
Well, there you go, boys. Never mind. We'll come back to that later.
Next region-free, next year's region-free Halloween episode, we can do Wizard of Oz for you, Steak. We'll let you be Dorothy.
Woo!
I want him to just be a large floating Oz head. Like, you could be Zordon or Oz. Like, we could go either way. We could all be Power Rangers, which I think would be dope. But
I don't know if I can rock tights, though.
Listen, if we're doing Power Rangers, I think at this point I'm being Ivan Ooze, or I'm not being anybody.
How are you not Zordon? How?
That's Zordon. He's shaved and bald. Shaved and bald, he's Zordon. I've got this.
I feel like I should be offended. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, Zordon's like he's the dude. He's the floating head.
Lorne was 35. Lorne was 35 when Power Rangers.
When Power Rangers came out, it'd been weird if he knew what we were talking about. He'd have been on a list if he was really into Power
Listen,
Rangers.
you guys are just jealous that I killed the last pterodon, okay?
Lauren doesn't want us to know that he was a big Pink Ranger fan.
I probably would have been if I knew what the fuck you were talking about.
I did not know what I wanted to do with her, but I know I like that lady.
Yeah. Just walk around the hallways.
Yeah,
I take it back. I no longer want anything to do with this.
Oh my god.
So when I was 12 on Halloween night, I decided I was going to carve a pumpkin my parents were out and my sister was downstairs talking on a landline rotary telephone. She was supposed to be watching me and observing everything I do because even at that age, it was a bad idea to let me be alone. And I couldn't find like any of the carving tools at all. So I did what any self-respecting 12-year-old would do. The butcher knife, right? So got newspaper down, which I thought was that's pretty advanced, right? I didn't want to make a mess.
Responsible, very responsible.
Yeah, I think so. Sure. And I cut the I don't know, the hood off the top, got all the gunk out, and went to make my first puncture hole in it, and went through the pumpkin into the webbing in this hand.
Oh God!
And it only stopped when I was pinned against the pumpkin.
Oh!
And I didn't initially think I got cut because it just felt like I was being pinched against the pumpkin. So I, of course, tore it out, looked down, and there was this blood spraying up the pumpkin, like defying gravity. So I dropped the knife behind me and, of course, clasped my hand over it, right? And I'm walking to the bathroom, and there is a trail of blood behind me on the wall. It looks like Argento took off an arm, is what it looks like.
What age are we talking here?
12. So I go to the bathroom and I put my hand in the sink and I'm running water on it as if water is going to stop this blood flow. and I remember at some point I got very faint, but I stayed conscious enough to wrap my hand in a towel, a full-size towel. And this is the punchline of the story, is that I come out eventually and my sister's off the phone finally hours later. She walks upstairs and goes, "I didn't know we had a red towel."
She's mad.
You do now.
Goddamn red towel from.
Which is why, if you check out, there's like webbing galore on this hand, and there's like nothing.
Oh,
ouch!
He actually swims a little bit to the left. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Flying is not in the same sense.
You outdid me. I just made a stripper go to the hospital. You like half crucified yourself, so you win.
A stripper going to the hospital is more impressive, actually.
Yeah, I mean, what's your favorite Halloween story, Dan? I almost killed a stripper.
Yeah, I almost had to drive a stripper.
Oh wait,
to the
but
hospital.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. This is like Phoebe Cates in all the Gremlins movies, right? He could tell a different story about every holiday involving a dead stripper.
Oh yes.
Oh God.
Tell us the story about the dead stripper at the chimney in the chimney, Dan.
That's got to wait for the December episode, but working on that.
And then there was the Easter with the eggs, and I got messy.
Jonathan, we can't tell that story on air.
They weren't able to pass them. Do you guys have a worst costume? Because the one year that I totally wasted, I was trying to date a juggalette, I think you call.
Whoa, stop!
Daniel,
not worth hearing. We want to hear about this.
I win as whoever the fat insane clown posse guy is. I think that's
not
Violent J.
Violent J, yes.
Oh,
and I dressed up, and she just went out of town instead of showing up at the party. So I was
here
a Violent J
or a juggalette.
Apparently, she went as a ghost.
Female juggalo, right?
It's juggalo and juggalo. I just want to know if anybody here is actually.
I think so. I was not, but I tried to impress her. And then I'm just like Violent J at a party, and I felt like
when I hear their music, I almost think like I could understand where somebody would like this, but like their fan base is completely turned me off of anything that might remotely be interesting. And it's like there's no fucking way.
See, that's the masculine version of Tori Amos, right?
Okay, yeah. You're just like no, like there's no way people are gonna know that I like that.
That should be. I mean, that should be anybody's number one red flag when it comes to dating. Are you a juggalo? And if that answer is yes,
well, luckily enough, they fucking brand themselves.
They do. Yes.
So you can
have a
just
check
for the
box.
The little hatchet man that's fucking burnt into him. They get. It's usually on their fucking hatchback Civic with no muffler.
All right. We've managed to stretch this segment into like an hour.
We have. I'm going to put myself on mute.
So we've learned a lot about Dan tonight. We've learned a lot about Dan.
We sure have.
And it's only begun.
Whoop, whoop.
So, guys, let's go on to the second. So, Halloween suggestions for the audience of movies to watch that are not part of some long-running franchise that we've all seen a million times. Dan, I have a feeling this is going to take a while, so why don't you go?
Okay, so one that I would throw out that everybody, I think, knows whether they've seen it or not, 1974's Vampires. But I wanted to throw out another film that Jose Ramon Larraz made the same year, Symptoms, which was thought lost for a long time. And until they found the negative in 2014, it's out on Mondo Blu-ray. And this film is very, very creepy. I don't want to give away too much about it. I'm not going to go in depth on a lot of these, but it's one you should consider if you want just creepy, quiet, gothic horror night.
But Dan, my brain can't handle something made in the 70s.
Oh, well, then for you,
me, I'm made in the 70s.
I kind of did this rapid fire, so I'm not going to go in depth. But for you, Steak, I would recommend 2007's Jeremy Saulnier, I think is how you say his name, Murder Party, which is a very quirky film. A lot of people know that director for Green Room, but the even better Blue Ruin, which is his best film. Blue Ruin's amazing.
What's with him and all the colors? I never understood.
He loves his colors. What can I say?
But Dan, I was trying to, like, for those folks, kind of give them a reason to grab
the reason would be with the first one. Gothic horror is rarely done right anymore. You rarely get it. Folk horror, rarely done right. We get a witch every once in a while that shocks us and becomes a new horror classic. But I would say that is a good reason to watch that. Another, since I know some people won't watch older movies, so I'll give you a newer one. Probably the best film, or at least in the top 2 or 3, last year or maybe 2 years ago now, Moloch, which you can watch on Shudder right now. Amazing film, and that'll get you in the Halloween spirit. And let's see,
I wish they had a different title.
Really?
Makes me uneasy. Ugh.
Well, that's what the holiday's all about. You want something light? I will throw out this film, which was look at this cast: Shelley Duvall, Richard Mall, Ryan Reynolds, Judge Reinhold. If you want something lighter, Boltneck. Fun little movie. Trying to give you something different for maybe not for you, Lauren. Maybe not Boltneck for you, but this is a really fun film. It's it's an R-rated film, but it's strange because it's borderline okay for the family. At least I say so. So you're good. Showing it
doesn't have to go in Dan's special room.
Smile room.
It's a fun, goofy little take on the
Giggle Palace
legend. I tried to grab all stuff that I've not talked about before, so I'll give you 2 more. And these are great foreign horror films. Left Bank, which is a wonderful movie. I don't know if anybody's seen it. You haven't seen it, Lauren, so that's bad. So nobody knows what I'm talking about. But there you go. You can look that one up yourself. This one, I think you had to. If not, you need to, Lauren. Sauna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
There you go. Sauna is a creepy, amazing horror film. So I know I'm not going super in depth, but I wanted to give you guys, just a list of stuff you don't hear about too often. And what do I close with? All right. 2 that you can also watch on Shudder. So these are safe bets for almost everybody. Mortuary Collection. This is a horror anthology that will 100% get you in the mood. Clancy Brown is sort of your crypt keeper for this movie. And this one's really good for that Halloween feels. And This one, not a lot of people talk about it. Came out during the pandemic, but yummy. This is a zombie film.
Missed that one.
Yes.
I've been in a zombie blackout for like the past decade, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's there's more to it. It's a sort of zombie film, but if you want fun, you want old school practical gore and a lot of laughs, I highly recommend. I think it's like a Dutch Belgian co-production.
There's the Dutch again. It's the second time in this one podcast.
It's good. It's good.
So there's some suggestions for your Halloween watch list. Hopefully I didn't take up all your time.
Jonathan, what do you got? Suggesting.
I just have one.
Okay.
I didn't go Daniel. I just went with Satan's Little Helper.
There you go. Good one.
Great flick, man. I don't even really know how to describe that movie, but if you're in Speedway Squad, just a couple guys, there's a really good, not safe for the internet story with me in this movie. So I have extremely fond memories of it. But as far as like the movie goes, it's one of those, it was like one of the last, like, I'm going to rent this solely based on this cover movies I can remember like in my lifetime. So this would have been around like 05-ish, I want to say. 04.
Yeah.
04.
Yep.
And it was the mask is in the movie, but it's really not anything like what you would expect from the name of the movie. It's basically just a fun little slasher with the most annoying kid on earth and Amanda Plummer's ugly ass. It's worth a watch. I don't want to spoil anything. Just watch it. It's good shit.
I have a photo of her rubbing my eyebrows.
That's
She said
weird,
I had
dude.
nice eyebrows.
I would not let Amanda Plummer.
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, well. Steak, you follow that up with anything.
No, if any of you fucking pricks move.
Dan, we're gonna need that picture of you and Amanda Plummer on Show and Tell next next episode.
I'll look for it. Yeah,
that needs to be when you click off, like away from the screen. That needs to be your little profile picture.
It's just Monster Mania.
Ed's got to retire there.
Yeah.
Update that. I didn't think I'd get to use this one, but here we go. I get to go just throw out Trick or Treat. I mean, obviously, like that's a very obvious, I think, Halloween one. That's, I think thankfully not been attached to any kind of franchise. I know people bitch about it, but like it's one anthology. There's really no need to do anything like that. It's fine. That's a fun one. I watched that with my chick and the kids last weekend. That was good. They both his eyes didn't leave the screen, which is not terribly common for him. So I think that's a pretty good litmus test for that. Another one.
How great is that, by the way? Before you move on, I wanted to. How great is that? Like showing like a young person, or in my case, my kid, like one of these movies that you love, and they're sucked in. That's
it's very cool.
Makes the watching experience like even that much better because they're digging it.
And he's 9, and it's like I'm really careful with what I show to him.
I'm fine with that.
I love my little crazy horror kid.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6, and watching just anything. But he's 9, and I'm like, I don't know if you.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But is it like are kids just more innocent somehow while also being just exposed to everything? This is not the time for that.
No, it's not.
So this one I'm going to throw out there, and technically it is, it's the beginning of a franchise, but I don't care. It's just because it's a movie that I inevitably end up watching at least half of every Halloween, and that's Night of the Living Dead from '68, obviously. Just like no matter where I am, whatever shitty party I got dragged to, whoever's house I went to chill at, you just get fucking too high and you end up being the only one still awake somehow, or you wake up, you passed out first, so that's how you're awake. And it's just on TV somewhere.
It's a perfect way to end Halloween.
And it's such a fantastic way to end. Exactly.
Kind of wake up to it like in the middle of it. Yeah. Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, just the music at the end too, like as the credits are going through. It's perfect. Like that is like the best feeling of the entire October for me. Will be when that happens.
So it's a magic movie.
This year I will also recommend The Exorcist, from '73, just to get the
Believer.
The taste out of your mouth.
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Sam,
I actually have counter programming. So say it's like you want to get in the Halloween spirit, you may not want to do something like, you know, in the horror genre specifically, but you want something that's still kind of spooky. And I feel like this movie counts because it does end on Halloween, which is going to be Practical Magic from 1998, I believe it was. And hear me out. This movie has it all. It has witches. It has a cursed bloodline. I'm not done yet. It has murder. It has a zombie. It has a zombie getting murdered. It has possession and an exorcism. And at the beginning of the movie, you get a Final Destination-esque death.
Yeah. And Lauren's favorite, Nicole Kidman.
And you get Nicole Kidman.
That's a red line. That's a red line. We don't cross the red line.
Isn't it just easier to say like it's a guilty pleasure? And just like admit it.
I mean, I enjoy it. I don't care if it's a
That's
guilty
what the
pleasure or
definition
just
of a guilty
regular
pleasure is. Oh, regular pleasure.
But she doesn't feel guilty. Why should she feel guilty?
I don't feel guilty. Like just acknowledge that the rest of the world.
I'm just saying, it's metal as fuck, and you know, I think it still
category.
qualifies.
It's what I didn't expect. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Diana, do you have any non-franchise horror films you'd like to suggest?
Sure. So mine are not. I don't recognize any movies you guys are talking about, to be honest. But I did recognize a few. My movies are kind of clean, so they might be kind of boring. Well, I'm out of view. So, stuff that I like to watch are either super clean or super scary. So Hocus Pocus, for sure. Technically not a franchise. Conjuring. I like, someone already mentioned it, but I already forgot the name of it. Hold on, I have my list here. My tablet has been acting up all night and it's just not working for me. Scream. Where is it?
How are we?
The Exorcist. Wait, what?
How are we even friends?
Well, when I was a kid, that was a huge deal. I wasn't allowed to watch certain things. Let me see. Goosebumps as a kid, I watched. Where is it?
Goosebumps is great.
Anyways, but I like a lot of I'm getting stuck at the franchise. The Ring, I loved watching. Paranormal Activity, that's the one. The paranormal ones. Anything supernatural, I loved watching. I would binge watch The Exorcist all the time. Like that was on top of my list. But that's technically a franchise, so I was getting stuck on that. But Hocus Pocus, of course, is always. I watch that almost every year.
Hocus Pocus. That's like that's almost in everybody's. It's got to be.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like fun either, so that would also be part of why.
Probably.
Oh my gosh, what's her name? I forget her name. The main witch. She's like my spirit animal.
Winifred.
Yeah. Winifred.
Yeah, I love her. But yes, that's my list. Not the most glamorous, but
I got caught up with her character's name, and I almost shouted out Winona Ryder. I didn't have to.
Midler is Winona Ryder.
That'd be the witch that got banned from Walgreens.
What do you mean we have to pay?
Piz, what are you throwing at people?
I'm gonna
collection in the world, so you have a lot to choose from.
I'm gonna start in 1960, then I'm gonna move to 1946, then I'm gonna come back to 1997.
Hey.
From 1960, Peeping Tom.
Michael Powell's
Michael Powell. Yes,
Definitely.
yes. The movie's so good, it pretty much ruined Michael Powell's career.
Getting a 4K next month, right?
Getting a 4K. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Perhaps you could say even the first found footage movie.
Yep.
So yeah, great movie. If you've not seen it, definitely check it out. This is one I know Lorne loves from 1946, a slasher precursor, The Spiral Staircase. This one also got a Blu-ray not that long ago. Good quality Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it as well.
Based on the great Ethelwina White novel.
Indeed. Indeed. And from 1997, I've mentioned this movie a lot in the past. It is The Ugly.
I love The Ugly. Still doesn't have a good release though.
Ooh.
No, still doesn't have a good release.
Give me
no.
some
We bought
info
that
on that
DVD
one,
we all
please.
bought used from Blockbuster has to get us through.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Scott Reynolds, New Zealand film. It's a just a psychological serial killer flick. Unforgettable. Great film. If you've not seen it, seek it out. You can probably find that old former Blockbuster rental DVD cheap on eBay. So definitely look into it.
There's a weird internet mystery attached to The Ugly that I don't know if anyone here is aware of. There's a song that plays in the bar scene during that film that no one can identify.
I watched a thing on that. So that is where I've heard of that at before.
Yeah.
They'll find it. I've
It's
seen
been years,
several
though.
cases. I know, but like it's if the right people pick it up and like talk about it, it seems like they get solved pretty quickly. It's interesting to watch though.
And Scott Reynolds, I mean, that dude needs to make more movies. I know he did a movie, what was it called? I think it was called like Familiar Faces or something like that. I saw it years ago. I thought it wasn't bad. But he's not, done a lot of television since then. Yeah, definitely
Awesome
look
choices.
into. Thank you.
Awesome choices all around, everyone. It's awesome. I just have one movie I want to suggest to people, and none of you are actually going to watch it, but that's cool. But I'm going to try and sell it to you anyway. And that is the 1980 television production of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, good one.
Nice.
So what's now? Hear me out. It's stagey. It's cheesy. It's dated. It doesn't completely work. It's a little boring. I happen to love it because it feels like the holiday.
Yeah.
But let me sell it on you. Ichabod Crane is played by Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, wait. Meg Foster as Katrina Van Tassel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a sucker
feels-
for Sleepy Hollow stuff.
It feels like the holiday. It is a very accurate rendition of the Washington Irving short story, really, because it's in the middle of Travels in New England as its own story. But thing is, it has a real sense of humor about it. It wants to be friendly and approachable to a story that really, honestly, is not all that approachable. I mean, Burton's version is so glamorized in all the wrong places. It's a really weird experience. I like the movie, and I can't love it. I can actually love this movie, even though it's probably not for everyone, but it captures the holiday really well for me. Initially, when I made this list, I was going to go with Midnight Hour, which is like my go-to Halloween TV production. But I decided I'm going to use that later in the show. So spoilers for later in our own episode. But yeah, unfortunately, the reason I'm showing a VHS of this, no release, it never made the leap. So
it's on YouTube as well. I think
it is
people
on.
Want to watch it.
I just looked it up. It is on YouTube.
I think Tubi has a version of it, but that's the other thing you got to be careful because there's two very different versions of this movie too. There's two different cuts. One was abbreviated so it could be played in an hour slot. You don't want that version. You want the full version. So that's my suggestion for something non-franchise that doesn't involve a guy with a knife for Halloween.
Night of the Creeps. Everybody go watch Night of the Creeps now. Go.
It's too easy. Too easy.
That was a big fucking staple though back in the day. Sci-Fi played that shit on Halloween Day all the time.
We do have one other voice that wants to chime in on this exact issue.
Good evening, Region Free. Got some recommendations for Halloween 2023. First, Otto Preminger's unsettling psychological thriller, Bunny Lake is Missing, about a 3-year-old girl who vanishes while at daycare, and Police Inspector Laurence Olivier is convinced she never existed. Also stars Carol Lindley and Care Delay, and music by the Zombies. Second, Lucio Fulci's giallo masterpiece, Don't Torture a Duckling, which I did a 50th anniversary audio commentary on last year, about child murders plunging an Italian village into hysteria and superstition. And finally, third, Adrian Lyne's Jacob's Ladder, starring Tim Robbins as a Vietnam veteran suffering from a series of traumatizing hallucinations. Join me on Halloween night for a Jacob's Ladder audio commentary, followed by all of Adrian Lyne's other films, including Flashdance, Fatal Attraction, and Unfaithful. Happy Friday the 13th, everyone.
Why was there an alligator?
There might not have been originally, but there might have been something in the back that I didn't want there.
So, like, I'll definitely vouch for Jacob's Ladder. That's a perfect movie for me.
Very child
Yes.
murder forward in his picks.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's funny because Stone and I had a long conversation one day about Unfaithful and the fact that like no one likes that film but he and I. It's not a horror film at all, by the way, but it's
Never seen it. I just know of it.
It's just a film that's going to make you feel things that you haven't felt, and you don't want to watch it with anyone else. It's definitely one of those movies you watch alone.
I saw it in a packed theater when it first came
I'm
out.
so sorry. That is not the place to watch that movie.
Here's something funny though. About halfway through the movie, something happened and it got knocked off, where like it chopped off everybody's head. And like just everybody was too lazy to get up and actually go tell, like say, hey, this thing's messed. So we watched most of the movie without being able to see people's heads, and we just joked that it was supposed to be that way, that it was symbolism, because it's not about this head that's motivating people in that movie. So yeah, we had a good laugh about that.
Good to see Stone as always. And guys, let's get into some recent releases that have either enhanced our theater experiences or plagued them this month. You know, I was skeptical when they titled it Saw 10 when it didn't set it in space.
It's coming.
That I would not mind it if they said a Saw in space. I'm perfectly fair, honest. Just really, just make it happen.
Standalone. Just it doesn't exist in the universe. Just put.
It can exist in the universe.
It can exist in the Saw the Saw cinematic universe.
I'm going to take this opportunity to jump off. I'm still not fully recovered from whatever disease I caught at Halloween 45. So I'm going to bounce. And I've not seen any of these movies because I've been sick. So
feel better, Piz.
Well, good for you, Piz. Don't rub that shit in, man.
I know I'm really kicking myself that
everybody's going, goddamn, I wish I was sick.
Exorcist.
Oh my God. It's nothing compared to the pain we felt in Exorcist.
Although Jeremy is still set on us going to watch it soon.
I'm so sorry.
I will.
Try and convince him you've already watched it. we went last night, don't you remember?
But you remember that, Jeremy?
You didn't like it.
Yeah, you said it was awful. You said you were going to forget about it.
Wait.
The second we walked out.
Piss, I got it for you. Tell them that on the way in the theater, they make you eat cake.
Oh, okay. That'll do it. That'll do it right there. But it was good seeing you all. It was good hanging out with you all. Have a great rest of your Friday the 13th.
Cheers, Piz.
Yeah.
Later, Piz.
Bye.
It was nice to meet you.
It's nice meeting you too. Y'all have a great night.
Have a good one.
Later.
That was
so nice.
If I had prepared properly and didn't care about copyright, I would have played Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac.
Thank you. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Just pay for the rights. Come on.
We're not making money off this anyway. Saw 10. So I know who has seen it and who hasn't.
I just flat out didn't go to that one.
Okay. Then I know
I
you've
have not.
but you've seen other Saw films.
I have. I've only watched 1 through 3, and I'm obsessed.
Stop there. Just
Don't
stop
stop
it. It's not getting better.
Really?
We keep coming back to fucking 3 an awful lot. Like, you'll find out.
Oh no. Yeah, I've only watched up to there, and I've watched bits and pieces of like 5, but that's all I remember.
You watched 3 though, correct?
Yes, I don't remember it very vividly, but I do.
Well, then
I
you've already
did watch
seen
it.
the most egregious thing that happens in the entire franchise. Is they killed Jigsaw off
That's not
entirely too fucking
That's
quickly.
not an issue.
Yes, it is. We've had two fucking prequels now.
Don't be nostalgic for something that you got 3 movies out of. They went and did a different story. That shouldn't be a sin. Let storytellers tell stories, man.
But we're not. We're coming back to the
they
same
killed
guy.
Hicks. I can't like this movie.
No. We keep coming back to the same thing. Jigsaw. We just come back and we go to a time where Jigsaw is alive. This Saw 10, Jigsaw's back, takes place between 2 and 3. Like, it's the dumbest fucking thing. Like, reboot it. Do something like that would actually work with it. I understand. Like, you have great taste in in almost every other aspect of your life except here, Lorne. It just makes no fucking sense how you can champion this dog shit of franchise and then shit on stuff that's like at least passable.
Ooh. Says the guy who hasn't seen the movie.
No, what happens?
I think you
Spiral
would like
was
it.
a breath of fresh air. I thought we were going to go in a little bit different direction.
This is a complete different direction, though. That's the thing. Like, this is the best film of the franchise. I don't even think that's controversial.
I'll end up watching it. I'm just not going to pay any extra money to do so.
And you may regret that decision, or you may not. I mean, that's how this game is played.
Definitely the best since 2.
Yeah.
Definitely the best since
2 is my favorite of the series before this, but now X is my favorite of this franchise. The decision to add emotional stakes, which is the one thing that's always been missing from the franchise, and have it work is stunning. The writing is unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The big twist in this thing isn't the final twist where Hello Zep plays. That's here. But the big twist is they throw a curveball into Jigsaw's plan that's legitimately something he didn't plan on.
Yeah, that was...
When that fucking happens, it makes the movie so special and changes everything about your perspective on the whole franchise. It's amazing.
Yeah, and when that happens, I had no idea where it was going, even though it's like, well, I know Jigsaw can't die. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, wow, they went for it.
Is it something that is it a kind of movie that you have to watch all of them in order for it to make sense?
No.
Okay.
You'd be good.
You've seen the first 3. This takes place between the first and second film. So
okay.
You're fine. There's little things that maybe like are fan servicey things that you wouldn't get the reaction from, but none of them involve plot, so you'd be fine. The post-credit sequence would baffle you, but whatever.
I'm actually really curious to see it.
And all this, and
It's very
Tobin
good.
Bell was just trying to lay on took an easy gig to lay on a fucking floor and just
Oh
get
my
paid.
god, dude, his performance in X is what it. People talk about. Actually, it's funny. Everyone wants to talk about a movie called X and a performance in that and in Pearl, but it's that level. Like what Tobin Bell does in Saw X is as good as any acting you're going to see this year on the screen. He won't be nominated for anything because it's a Saw film. I mean, it's a horror film beyond that, but he is so frigging good in this because he has range this time because his range is written into the performance.
Yeah, I really like it be like this is his movie so solidly, and what I enjoy about the Saw movies is Tobin Bell. He's fantastic, right? And now I can just sit there for 2 hours and just like bathe in Tobin Bell. Well, I don't want to say bathe in Tobin Bell. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean, because he's always a pleasure to watch on screen. And yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this. My only complaint was, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's pretty much revealed in the trailers. Yeah, getting conned by getting conned by those people that are promising a cure for cancer. I mean, but Lorne, I think you were bringing it up too about him doing anything that he has to survive, right? It's the same thing that he expects of others.
Yeah. I mean, is it realistic? Again, the Saw films aren't realistic, but does it thematically make complete sense? I think it does. I think there's a nice mirroring going on there, so I will forgive that. And I don't think it's that has to happen so the movie happens thing either. I think it is consistent. It's just, it depends on what you think already, what your preconceived notions of John Kramer are. You know, we see John Kramer here vulnerable. The first half hour, oh my God, it feels like it's not even part of the horror genre.
It's painful. It really is. Yeah, like it's a great performance. I think it's a weird comparison, and you'll only get it if maybe seen the movie, but I almost compare it to Clerks 3. It may not be what you expect, but it's like really, really good. Not the movie you're expecting to get in the Saw franchise, just like Clerks 3. But yeah, I love that we get to spend time with him because he's such an interesting character because he is a villain. I mean, he's a murderer. There's no way around that.
And this film calls him out for specifically why that is bullshit, right? That he's not.
It does. It goes there. It's a very complex film while still giving you the awesome traps and kills and
less of them than most of the series, though.
Yeah, less. It's not like
there's not one every 10 minutes,
but it's clever. They're thought out well. There's a character in here I wanted to die so fucking bad I was actually getting angry.
Absolutely.
Which they did a really good job.
The last two need to die.
Yeah,
and the film does something really brave with that too, which I think is cool.
It is.
Which, by the way, reflects Hoffman in Saw 6.
Yeah, it's a prequel. Again, I normally have a lot of issues with prequels because you kind of know where people have to end up. More often than not, I don't like prequels, but this is probably one of the best prequels ever made because it really,
I would agree.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Pearl is better than X in my opinion, so that might be a
comparison. You're not wrong there.
True, but yeah, you also know certain things with that.
When are we getting Maxine? As a side note, when is Maxine?
I think it's March.
Yeah,
sweet.
The one thing I wanted to mention too here is that there's a scene between Shawnee Smith's Amanda and John Kramer that is later in the film than all the emotional stuff in the beginning, but hits really hard and makes the last act of Saw 3 better.
Yeah.
It actually improves the emotional weight of Saw 3 like tenfold.
Yeah.
This movie shouldn't exist. This movie should just be like what the last two that they released were, which was desperate attempts to rekindle some fire that's long been out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a film in this franchise I don't like to some degree, but the last two felt very performative. Like, we got to put a movie out. How can we make this work? And, Dan and I were talking, they kind of feel like later Columbo mysteries, whereas you meet the villain and they kill, and he's just there for an episode, right?
Columbo and the Jaw franchise. Now I'm intrigued. Just bring me Columbo.
Peter Falk, we can see Gio trying to work his way through those traps.
That would Natasha Lyonne or whatever her name is now. She's the only one doing a Columbo impression on TV these days.
She is.
So, the three of us who saw it all would recommend it. Is that fair?
Oh yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah.
And one of the, I have to throw this out there, but one of the things that, you don't really expect is getting to see, Jigsaw be put in those vulnerable positions, not just emotionally, but, to kind of, get to kind of be losing this battle for a bit, right?
Yeah.
That's happening. And when was the last time we did that with a major villain where the movie is about like seeing something that didn't go according to their plan?
Yeah, and there is, and they don't pull punches. He didn't count on something.
Yeah.
How great is that at this point?
Yeah, because when you're at the 10th movie in the franchise, right? You know that Jigsaw's always thinking ahead, but most of this movie he's not. Right?
Because it's too personal. The stakes are too personal in this one.
Yeah.
You can never use torture porn to describe the Saw franchise anymore.
I really hate that word being thrown around for Saw.
Yeah.
There's elements of it that's undeniable, but
there's a lot more going on though.
It's the most plot heavy franchise in horror.
Yeah.
There's more story in the Saw franchise than easily any of the others. There's not even a comparison. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because I was going to transition, so get it in.
Oh, no. I've been seeing a lot of smack talking about Shawnee Smith's look in Saw X, and I need it to stop. Because when exactly... So this is taking place between 2 or 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, I got the impression that this was like the late 90s. Maybe Amanda's just a few years behind. But, you know, because the critiques are about her hair. This is not Gail Weathers' bangs in Scream 3. She's okay. Now look.
Which were fucking slick, by the way. Nobody ever wants to talk about how cool that haircut was.
Well,
I mean, slick as in, like, I guess if you also like toothy blowjobs, you'd like that haircut too. But just
nobody likes the cheese grater.
I mean,
just a bit off the top.
versus no blowjob.
Toothy blowjob t-shirts coming soon.
But no, I was getting very much like Angelina Jolie and Hackers vibes. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I need people to stop smack talking Amanda.
You know what? Here's my deal with that is like, and I haven't chimed in on this, but I've heard a lot of the like, oh, these actors look older and they're supposed to be younger.
Better than de-aging them with CGI.
Yeah, exactly.
I can suspend my disbelief.
Do you want them to do some shit? This is the one franchise that has never had to recast a fucking character. What do you want them to do? Start fucking around with it now? No,
I'm fine. Yes, it's been 17 years since we've seen Shawnee Smith in the movie. That's fine. I can suspend my disbelief. She looks great.
Oh,
I don't de-age her. That'd be so stupid.
Yeah. All right. So if we can suggest this one and recommend it, there's another film in theaters right now that we might have a different story on.
Well, I'm gonna be heading out.
Yeah.
Who's in there?
Okay, here's the caveat. I purchased a ticket and sat in a theater during the entire runtime of this film. I, however, was not conscious for a majority of it.
That's good reason.
Good call.
Yeah, so I'll go down that path when we talk about it.
We'll
I think
fill in
Stone
the
made
blanks.
the smartest decision. Stone left after what? Almost an hour.
Yeah.
Stone's like, fuck this movie.
Left. Oh my god. Who wants to start this thing rolling? Because like I know it's gonna get loud.
Somebody else go. I actually have to take a piss.
I don't have a lot to really add to it, so I'll go first.
Go
so
for
when
it.
I found out we were definitely going to do Exorcist and Beliver, I was in Vegas, so I wasn't there for the meeting that day. So I was like, cool. I got nothing going on tomorrow, and my movie pass works here. So I'll get really fucking high, and I'll go see The Exorcist. Like the worst case scenario, I have a good time. Like, you know? So I went out to New Woo, which is on an Indian reservation. It's a little bit laxed with their laws there. You know, got me some weed, did a few dabs, took off in the Uber. I didn't drive to the movie theater, and I made it almost through like
the opening credits.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much, because I really don't remember anything. I just remember being woke up at the theater. Honestly, good sleep though.
Were you alone?
Yeah, it was just me.
Oh, buddy. He had to come wake you up?
Wake me up, yeah.
Sir.
I told you I was at the
sir.
I bought some accoutrements all legal there. And I'd been drinking a little bit too. But still, it was, I feel like from what you guys have said, I probably had the best time going to see it.
Yeah, you might have Stone beat.
I mean, relaxing. Put you right out.
Oh, there's plenty in this movie to take you right out if he doesn't boil your blood first. So everyone knows that The Exorcist and William Peter Blatty in particular is very close to my heart, like very close to my internal DNA structure. And I've endured a lot as a Blatty fan for a long time. Heretic is a fascinating, awful film. Those two prequels are just snooze fests that can't find their energy or any focus, and they hurt, right? They hurt a little bit. I never watched the television show because I don't do television. But walking into this thing, my expectations were low because I'd heard some really, really, really disturbing bad things. And all of them, unfortunately, are absolutely in the film, except they apparently cut out one thing, which probably is merciful. But it is the worst film of the franchise, I think, easily. I think this is one of the worst sequels ever made. It is unbelievably, drastically bad. It doesn't make sense. It ignores the logic of the first film. It takes what is obviously a Catholic story and tries to make it universal, and in doing so, they alienate the whole universe who was fine with it being a Catholic film.
Yeah.
The demon shouldn't respond to any of this shit because he's either a Catholic demon or he's a voodoo demon or he's some fucking thing. That doesn't matter. But the biggest thing I have on this is this. Who the hell thought taking such a personal story as The Exorcist? The Exorcist, the original book and film, is a very, very personal story about a little girl whose father is missing. There's been some trauma in the past that's just off screen. If you watch the film closely, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's about her and her mom trying to come to grips with the real horrors of this world. It's a very personal story. And they immediately say, let's add a second girl to make it less personal. Like, the first decision they made is a bad one.
Yeah.
And everything from there is awful. The idea of doing Sophie's Choice as a horror film, I don't care if I'm spoiling anything about this film. I just don't care.
Okay, so we're going whole hog. Got it.
Yeah, just kill it. I don't care. It's an awful film. It's the worst horror film in theaters this year. It makes no sense. It has the lamest fucking ending. Exorcist Believer is just cancer on screen.
Did you say they turned it into a voodoo demon?
No.
No.
That might have been an idea.
Well, there's definitely a voodoo priestess in this movie that is.
Just tell me what happens with the demon that they fuck it up.
Chet Hanks, holy shit!
No.
Oh wow, Chet Hanks in The Exorcist, I would watch that.
Oh my god, we need to do this. David Gordon Green, you stupid piece of shit. Here are prayers.
$400 million to get the rights to that. Did I hear that right?
And it's not going to break even on production budget plus advertising. So
#1 at the box office.
So I should probably wait. Lorne, you were saying voodoo priestess. Were you talking about the gal that was an oncologist that was there during the exorcism?
I was talking about the girl that they recruited in Avengers style from the graveyard when she's stealing dirt.
Okay, yeah,
that's
she's
in
Russell
the fucking
Crowe
movie.
pops up from the fucking Pope's Exorcist at the end, and he's
Yeah.
like, "There's an initiative."
I'll tell you right now, Pope's Exorcist
Pope's
is
Exorcist.
stupid but fun.
I just saw that last
movie.
night.
I watched it last
Amazing.
night.
It's fun. It's stupid, but it's fun, right?
Yeah, it
Steve?
is fun. But yeah,
It was so good.
Pope's Exorcist has no reason being as good as it is, but I watch that instead.
I'm in better
sure.
shape than Russell Crowe. It makes me feel good.
oh, Russell Crowe's
mean,
been
yeah,
rough for a
but he
minute,
looked-
dude.
I
He
think
looked perfectly Italian, so his
Yeah.
size was no barrier. In fact, the fatter you are in that culture, the more respected you are.
Is there
strong
is there an exorcism movie where it's just fucking abuse? Like we're all
yes,
like,
but I can't think of it off the top of my
because
head.
that's the one. That's what I'm interested in. Like,
There's a
You just
few.
want to see a snuff film?
no, like because that's what's happening. This spoiler alert.
What was it?
No one's possessed by
the name of that
demons.
It's a lot of schizophrenic people. That
There's a lot of
got
very unhealthy people,
exercised.
and a lot of like the deaths from exorcism are just straight
Not
up starvation, abuse, those
Yeah,
things.
yeah, that's generally what it is. The one, well, there's a lot of things wrong with the movie, but it's also an Exorcist film where we don't even get to learn a goddamn thing about the Exorcist, who's just kind of there. There's all these throwaway characters. We had a second girl who we don't even really get to know that
There's
well.
no character.
Do you know what the
it's
worst,
just like, why is she here?
So this movie started off great, I thought. Like, obviously, like, Haiti is clearly Iraq. To get it, remember? Like,
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, what they do, it's the only thing they know how to write. But it's fine enough. And like the girls go missing, and like that's interesting, and it's like, oh shit, what's going on? And then like and once they're found and all that shit, they're creepy, like legitimately. And then it's like, I guess it's about that time. I think it's about the time the glass breaks in the hospital, that it just off a cliff, you know, just kind of middling. It wasn't like it was on trajectory to be some amazing thing in the first place. At that point, it just went, like a bus full of fucking dorks as a pedophile zombie drapes across the road. Never mind.
And we get the battle between good and bad smoke.
Just an Epstein.
Abbott Hayes.
That's terrifying. There's a horror movie. Fucking Jeffrey Epstein comes back from the dead.
He's not dead in the first place.
So, question for you guys, because, you know, we do start the movie off in Haiti, and, you know, we see Victor, the black dad's wife, she's getting a blessing because she's very pregnant, and they're doing a blessing on her stomach. And I'm not sure if that's part of like a voodoo practice or not. I don't know if you guys know, but the gal that they recruited to help them with the exorcism later on in the movie, she actually practices Christian hoodoo, which is different from voodoo. And I mean, I see what they're trying to do.
Well, I see what they're trying to do. I see it too, but it's such a bad idea.
I mean, like, if you wanted to do something like that, don't make it Christian hoodoo. I mean, but there's also no reason to do that because Victor and his daughter, what was her name? Angela. They don't actually have any sort of religious practice that we see. And Catherine and her family, they're in church every Sunday. Even after they find her ass and she's been walking 30 miles and they make her put those swollen, sore-encrusted feet in the worst church shoes ever.
Wait.
Up your sins, baby.
There was a moment there, like they find the kids 30 miles away from where they know that they entered the woods, which sounds like it would be a plot point, but it doesn't matter at all.
No, I mean, also, they're using a pendulum so Angela can try and talk to her dead mother because her mother died in the earthquake in Haiti at the beginning of the movie. And then, for some reason, that summons Pazuzu. That's not how this works, but you know what it did remind me of? It reminded me of Slender Man from 2018, where they're trying to get their friend back that disappeared, and they have to bring an item with them to give to Slender Man, and she has to bring an item with her that's, and they have to do a ritual in the forest. I'm just,
you know what it reminded me of? Talk to Me. One of the best films of the year that actually knew how to use these concepts.
Yeah.
So it reminded me of, there's an episode of South Park where Cartman pretends to be a medium, I think. I haven't seen the episode, and I could have looked it up in the meantime, but it's all I was thinking about in the theater. It's like a bunch of other mediums, and I want to say it's likenesses of real fucking TV mediums or whatever, but I don't remember.
John Waters.
They're all like,
not John Waters.
Fucking John Edwards.
They're
they're shooting like fake energy out of their hands, like
wow.
And it's just like a bunch of fucking idiots in a room screaming with these two girls tied up. Like, what fucking kind of movie is this at this point? It's so fucking stupid. And I got this dumb cunt in college fucking screaming behind me. She won't shut the fuck up, but I'm 31 years old and I can't fucking do anything about it because no matter what happens, it's my fault. And I could have beat the shit out of every single fucking person she was with. But again, I'm 31 and there's no point. I had to just shut up, and it is so enraging on top of this piece of shit fucking movie. David Gordon Green, go fuck yourself.
Hallelujah.
He's been holding that in for a week.
I would rather shit in my hands and clap than watch this again.
Absolutely.
It really is bad. I mean, it starts off fine. I get, the missing kids, but then it just, wow.
So
I'm just,
does everyone get that? Does everyone get that in the original Exorcist? It's not the fucking Ouija board.
No, of course not.
She's open because she's open to demonic possession, if that's what you want to call it, because she's hurt, because she's suffering, because she's coming from a broken family. That is what it is. This film.
Hey.
She's missing her mom, yeah, but her dad loves her and plays hide and go seek and catch with her at the beginning of the movie, which unfortunately we get to watch as they tromps around an apartment, and I'm like, what is this I'm watching? I don't know. But the thing is, like, the kid seems completely well adjusted and normal. Reagan in the original Exorcist, for instance, when she talks about but to her mom about Burke Dennings in the beginning. Well, you like him, right? It's an odd conversation, a weirdly adult conversation between a child and their mother. That's supposed to be a gateway into the fact that Reagan's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan isn't okay when the film begins, which is why the possession is possible. This doesn't understand that. Two jack-off kids get off the school bus and run into the woods. By the way, worst school bus driver ever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going through woods.
Well, they don't even make it onto the bus.
That's fine.
They just walk away from the school.
There's a lot of big things in this movie that are wrong, but there's always a ton of little things in David Gordon Green's movies. I mean, not to rehash the Halloween shit, but I mean, a list as big as my arm you could make of all the dumb shit that could have easily have been fixed in the writing room. It's insane. I mean, I actually thought, I was like, you know what? I hate these Halloween movies so much. My expectations are so low. Maybe this will be okay, because we only have 2 good Exorcist movies.
Correct.
And, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe if it's just okay. I know it's not going to be the original, but you can do a decent Exorcist movie. I would have taken Pope's.
There is plenty of like safe ground between The Exorcist and pretty much any other like possession type movie. So yeah. You've got a fucking easy way to just get on base, and they missed it entirely. So, fucking
and the legacy characters were totally irrelevant. You could have edited them out easily, changed the demon name, and this is my thing. Nobody would be talking about this movie. It would already be forgotten in a week. It's so easy to take out that 10 minutes of Ellen Burstyn, who is just, she's older. She's not the actress she once was. And then, you know,
and she didn't want to do it, and you can tell.
Oh, of course she didn't. And I mean, they gave her a lot of money for her charity. I'm glad
she's fucking, because she's fantastic on Law and Order, Organized Crime. She plays Stabler's mother. She's great in it. That show's awesome, by the way. Like, even, you know, not so much to watch. Give that one a look. Not so much sexual trauma.
You know what I'm really surprised at in this film, given where that was going at the end, when we were bringing in all the clergy from other religions, and we're shoving them in an apartment to form all different. I am actually shocked that Blum wasn't like, well, what if we have all the previous Exorcists show up, so we can get James Earl Jones in a giant locust costume, and Father Mourning with half his face missing from the Exorcist 3.
Right.
Get James Woods from fucking Scary Movie 2 in that motherfucker.
And frankly, it doesn't matter the character's dead. They could have had a CGI version of Father Karras show up, and Jason Miller's like,
make him a Force ghost. He's blue.
You just have it be really awful fucking like special effects, like Return of the Living Dead 3. So his head's just like hanging off by a wire, clearly.
That's going to be the end. You're going to have the Force ghosts just all holding hands while everybody celebrates.
You know what I find is weird that I don't understand. So I remember at some point earlier in the movie, they're doing like a house blessing for Angela. And I'm like, who the fuck let these people into your house, Victor? Do you know them? I don't think you, like, it seems like you guys are fairly chill and secular on Sundays. What is going on?
That other neighbor is like really concerned about the garbage can, and you expect that to mean something. But no, we're just going to focus on whether people take off their shoes.
Because this movie is garbage.
It kind of felt like that woman was being set up to be murdered also.
I was hoping for it.
Well, and she turns out to be kind of nice. So I laid off of it, but
I mean,
it's just fucking I'm
so
so
how much
annoyed
callback?
because like
Sorry.
I don't care. Fuck this movie.
How much callback do we get during the possession scenes? Your mother sucks cocks in that.
So that's the other thing.
I think the cunting daughter gets thrown in there.
The Burke Dennings line gets brought back. But what really bothers me though is that they couldn't even use the same version of the Roman ritual for the Catholic character. There's different verbiage. Like, I don't know about you, but I have that fucking ritual memorized because of the first film.
Hang on, I may be able to answer that for you. So the Catholic Church goes through like these doctrine changes where like it happened back in like 05 was the last one, because I used to be Catholic. And then like it would switch up, because when you're in Catholic Church, you're basically reciting a script along with the priest. That script and those things get changed from time to time. They add Latin to them, they take Latin away. It's fucking weird. But that does
believe
happen.
There's an entire John Mulaney bit on the subject.
Oh, really?
I believe.
Oh, okay, well,
it's him not going and then going again.
Yeah, that's really shocking. Like when you get there and like we're saying all kinds of different shit.
No!
Why do you guys know? Did they tell you? Like,
is it a substitute up there? Did we?
Who's this guy?
I didn't drop my pencil.
Guys, you know what? I'm too exhausted to talk about The Exorcist anymore.
You didn't even rant on the smoke battle. Good smoke
I know.
versus bad smoke.
Yeah, this is just, we've got to stop. Like, just, it's so convoluted. It just, there are at least half a dozen religions trying to be, well, I don't know, like half a dozen religions and a practice. Well, no, I guess it's still technically a religion if it's Christian hoodoo, but hoodoo is usually the root work practice is separate from voodoo, which is the religion itself. And I'm just like, why didn't we just?
Good.
I mean, well, no, I mean, like, voodoo and syncretic religion like Catholicism, and I believe it probably does have a lot of its roots in Catholicism as well.
So, like
but
the national religion of Haiti is like a mixture of it's Catholicism with like a bunch of voodoo elements. I think is like probably what they were trying to get at. Somebody brought up Serpent and the Rainbow earlier.
That would have been something really good to stick to, something like that. But instead, we're just jamming everything together, and then we've got a whole other family who they have no reason. There's no reason for them to be there. They're pointless. But we just have to, I guess, up the stakes with an extra girl in there.
Yeah,
who they didn't focus to. No.
Yeah,
Devil's taking them 2 for 1 these days, ladies and gentlemen.
Like she's on all of the publicity that I've seen, and then she's like, yeah, her too, white girl. Ugh. Which is rude.
I mean, like,
Sam, I'll let you get mad about that.
Well, I mean, couldn't we have just not had Chris McNeil in this movie at all and just bothered to make a character for the other girls so we cared? But it's just, here's the problem I have with like David Gordon Green has all of my wrath, because after having to sit through the Halloween trilogy and having to deal with Laurie Strode being a fucking narcissist mother who's just, will not acknowledge her daughter's trauma at all, She
was not standing for that besmirchment against that trilogy, by the way. Diana pieced out. She was like, I will not.
And it's like, he's got a fucking hard-on for narc moms. Because that's what we get off of Chris McNeil. And I get that she used to be an actress. That's fine. She's going to be self-absorbed. I understand that.
But she's not in the first film. That's the problem.
I know. Also, we have to talk about that line that's going around that everybody's complaining about. We have to talk about it.
Awful line.
Is that line as awful as it is that also not kind of in line with her though? Like, would that not be something you'd hear her say, an older lady especially?
She meets Karis in a park crying while wearing glasses as an abused spouse, which is the subtext, right? Because that missing father, which is the whole point of The Exorcist. Karis is missing his heavenly father, and Reagan is missing her literal father because he was an abusive son of a bitch who left and won't even call her on her birthday, which is in the film. But most people just ignore. So she calls out for help, hugs a priest she barely knows, and says, "Can you help me? Why won't someone help me?" This is the character that suddenly is blaming the patriarchy for not letting her be in the room.
Yes,
that's there, but she's also an actress, or at least was an actress, that is also just an older lady that sees Facebook words. So I didn't think it was that big of a stretch.
You're not wrong, dude.
Chris McNeil's Facebook is full of fucking minions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I am so fucking pissed that she is in this movie because they introduced her like this was fucking Insidious. And so right away I'm like, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. They could not have picked a worse way to do that.
So now look, I was already like when I actually saw the scene on Twitter where she says, well, that she believes that she was not allowed to see the exorcism because of the damn patriarchy. I was like, Wow, that sounds dumb as shit. Well, I guess I'll find out what the rest of the scene is like. Okay, so that's really not explained at all. And this is the problem that I have. If you're going to make that kind of a statement, you have to provide reasons. Otherwise, you look like a fucking asshole. And it doesn't make sense to your audience.
Which is why I think it was just, she's old. That's fine.
Well, so here's how little thought is put in.
Leave it out then.
Here's how little thought is put into that character in this movie, though. What convinces her to go that the case is genuine? A photo of the word "help me" on the new little girl, right? From a scene she did not witness, and explicitly the nanny says to Father Karras, "I don't want Chris to see this."
It's been 50 years. She's probably seen the movie by now.
Well, yeah.
Well, exactly. She had enough information to write a damn book. Well, she wrote a book about her daughter's exorcism that she wasn't actually there for. And, so, if I was Reagan, I would have gone no contact with her ass too. But, so it was like, the best scene of the whole movie is watching that bitch get her eyes ganked. Oh, man, that was great. That was rad. But unfortunately...
that caught me in the right place, I think.
Unfortunately, when she's recovering in the hospital after, and Victor shows up, she's fucking talking just like nothing's wrong. I'm missing my eyes. They were gouged right out.
Do
of
it
the crucifix. Oh well, I'm just gonna keep prattering on.
I wanted that. Blind. I don't need to see the price tag anyway.
My ending that I thought he was gonna do was just that moment where Linda Blair shows up and like Chris McNeil's been possessed, and we would get that "get out of my mom, you bitch." That is what I thought was gonna happen. And it didn't, but I'm thinking it's still coming if we get a sequel.
Reagan just turns into Linda Hamilton from the Terminator franchise.
I'm telling you right now what I think is going to happen based on this, the result of this film. I think Warner Brothers is going to kick Blumhouse off the project.
They fucking better.
I think they're going to take it into the house proper, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, they get a lot of fucking money for that franchise. I mean, they got 3-picture deal, right?
That's why they may finish it just for that. But
why wouldn't you? If you paid that kind of money for an IP, why would you put it off to a smaller house?
I tell them do it for $2 million.
How much do they make it for?
30, and then the 400 million was the issue.
Well, at least they had the idea with that's a fine budget.
Yeah, it's
well, it's a little bit complex though, because what happens is. So that's 30. They probably put 15 into promotion and advertising, which is still very reasonable. But the problem is, as a worldwide play, they have to farm it out in a lot of regions because, unfortunately, the way the Blumhouse deal works, it's still all over the place.
I still don't know, if I could justify $400 million for 3 movies in The Exorcist. The Exorcist is just not going to do Halloween money.
This was not originally intended for theaters. This was intended for a streaming original. Back in when they thought streaming was going to rule the world and subscribers what they were after. So this is just a remnant. This is not, listen, the financing of this is going to be a problem. But to be honest with you, they make bigger mistakes all the time than this.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Warner Brothers is just fucking throwing whole movies out.
I was going to say, fucking Batgirl just was made and said, no.
There's only one Batgirl, and it was made in Mexico. And that's a great film. And
what else did they do that to? There was a Scooby-Doo movie that got thrown that was completed. That's wild.
There were a few big. There was another franchise too that Todd was upset about, and I can't think of it. But I do want to say something though, because this is not the only possession movie out right now, and there is one. Now this is not an exorcism movie. It's nothing like The Exorcist, but When Evil Lurks. It is the best horror movie of the year. A lot of people love it who are very different. Lauren loves it. Todd loves it.
Christian loves it.
Christian loves it.
I won't say I don't think it's the best horror film of the year, but yes, it is great.
You loved it. And an A- from you. You don't give that out easily. So When Evil Lurks is absolutely amazing. It's from the director, Demian Rugna, who did Terrified. And it is just absolutely fantastic. It hits all the right notes. It's a very complex film, unlike Exorcist Believer. And I think there's something for everybody in the movie. I don't like to guarantee that you'll love a movie. But again, if you know all the people I mentioned,
You heard it here, folks. Your money back if you don't
There
like
you
it.
go.
From Dan Schein.
it'll be on
That's
Shudder.
D-A-N.
It'll be on Shudder October 27th, but it's still lingering in the theater, and it is worth going out of your way to see, because I reviewed it on my channel, so you can check out that review. But it is so fucking good, guys. Like, and there is great horror out there.
It's really an impressive film for its scale, because it makes itself feel much larger than the amount of landscape and set pieces that it actually encompasses. I would say that its mirrored plot is only 80% there, and I wish they could have pushed it the rest of the way. But there's so much compelling viscerally, and from a direct story standpoint, it's so worth the journey. And it's been a lean year for good horror, so this comes off as especially a good.
We're ending strong. There's a few other things coming at the end of the year that I think will make up for a slow start. But some of the most effective scenes in horror, I've got a couple moments etched into my brain. This is not American horror. There is stuff done in When Evil Lurks that you would never see in an American horror film.
This is an American horror.
There is one scene where my jaw had dropped. Everybody in the theater was dead silent. I don't think anybody wow, they just went there.
I bet he was
happy. Yes, check it out. It is better than a toothless blowjob steak. Better, or whoever said toothless.
And it all comes back around
with teeth. Was how that was described. With
toothy blowjob, better than a toothy.
You just got a couple of just teeth marks, just like racing stripes down the fucking center.
There you go.
And that racing stripe looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
it does, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's a scab. That's what that is.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, guys, we only got through about half of our topics tonight, but we are at the 2-hour point. So I'm going to throw down the flag on it. But what do you guys? We're going to cover a few other things. We'll push them to the next episode. It's not a big deal because they're not really Halloween centric. Mm-hmm. But what is your guys' Halloween greetings? Final greeting to everyone out there that's watching the episode. What do you want to say? How do you want them to celebrate? What do you want them to keep in mind?
Go out and make it a point to do Halloween themed stuff. I know a lot of people want to stay in nowadays, and I get that. Part of that is being on the couch with your loved ones watching great.
But we're losing Halloween
movies.
We are losing this holiday slowly.
No trunk or treat, or do trunk or treat in addition to trick or treat. But
that's what we did, man. Weekend going up. She loads up at the trick or treats, and then you still
get all these dorks candy.
And go out the night of. Fuck your neighborhood association. Don't listen to it. Just ignore all of that. Go out the night of. It's an adventure. Kids
go to the suburbs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Find a cul-de-sac.
Or go into the inner city if you want a real Halloween experience.
Crawl over the top of the fence.
Yeah, you haven't lived till you've trick-or-treated in an apartment building.
Yes.
I promise you it'll be the most memorable Irvington Halloween you've ever had.
Irvington, Jesus Christ, Lord. That's too much.
Maybe Camden?
Patterson.
Straight up tricks out here. No treats.
Good. But, I don't know. I got love for Patterson.
Let's make that. Benda said something about adult trick-or-treating. There should be something for us to fucking do on Halloween.
We have that in our neighborhood. We have a couple of... Oh, go ahead.
Isn't it you take your kids out and then you put, Jack and Coke in a McDonald's cup?
There was a house last year that had margaritas.
That's what our neighborhood does.
Yeah.
Nice. We have they have a couple houses that'll do little drinks for the adults.
We do hot dogs. We do hot dogs.
There was a last year there was a house that was selling IPA that they made themselves, I think. I'm not sure.
You can't sell.
They have a license for that?
I didn't mean selling. Selling was they were giving out. They weren't. It wasn't.
That's cool. You stand down the road, fucking brewed up some beer. That's cool.
You go behind the pumpkin blow up, and you can buy a dime bag. It's all.
Did you guys go to like nicer neighborhoods than your own to trick or treat? Because
because that doesn't matter. That's not true. You go to the ritzy houses. That doesn't mean you're.
I don't know. It's at least true where
that
I
was
went.
my experience was absolutely
better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because trust me, I was the small scientist, and I experimented. And then
I guess I was coming from like rural fucking farm town, more cows than people in the county kind of.
Okay,
areas.
well, yeah.
So I'm going 45 minutes away. It's much better. Like this is not the great value
in DC and Washington State, where I essentially grew up. I don't know, that just didn't often. That wasn't
Shout
often
out
the case.
Brockport.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. Woo. But hit a lot of
recommend
houses.
for anyone to do anything haunted for Halloween. Has to every year. Go to a haunted house. Go to the state penitentiary here in Pennsylvania. Go to Gettysburg during Halloween. Anywhere major that's actually haunted, I recommend go.
Yeah. Actually haunted.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is gonna start a whole different.
Is there a rodent infestation you're aware of, or what is it?
It's a whole lot more.
At the Eastern State Penitentiary, definitely a rodent infestation. The scariest thing about there is honestly, like, you might just turn a corner and get bitten by something. Rat the size of a possum.
Old mental institutions, if you have any of those.
Waverly Hills is down here. It's just none of that shit is scary.
That's why I say Irvington.
That's scary.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
I won't
drop the white boy.
Wait. Take a 3-hour walk through downtown Portside, Elizabeth, New Jersey. I promise you, scariest Halloween you're ever going to spend.
No, you're right. I'm not doubting that, dude.
Just gonna have the hat and these lights going. I'll figure out a power source.
You would be so dead so quickly.
Oh, Kennedy's fried chicken.
Why is Dan on the top of a light post?
It's scary. You ever seen Cannibal Holocaust? There was no bike seat. Bike seat. I checked.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. Tonight was a really fun and special time. We had Piz back. We had a great panel, some great passionate conversations. We had Diana. So what else does life need?
Come on. Now it's twice, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're always invited back.
You. Thank you.
All right. Happy Halloween. Be good, guys.
Irisland.
That was the same shit as the last time.
Well, you picked the last one, and you didn't like the last one.
You didn't like the last one? But you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah, because it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous? It's a classic.
Not really until the weird cousin shit that was going on.
You lied to me.
You picked this one. You picked this one. Cousin shit.